I've been doing Prince reviews now for a long time. With each one, I've gotten better at the craft, but now we're going into Emancipation. By this time, Prince had released a ton of music, had a very public fight with his record label, launched several careers, and going into this era, he also fired his band and hired an entirely new one. I don't have any of those things. I have to figure out a way to feel closer to Prince and invoke a little bit more of his spirit. Ah! I have an idea. There. Job posting is on. Oh, hey, do you want a job? Do you have any qualifications?
My name is Lally, and my qualifications is I have a master's in communication. I'm very good at marketing, and I love Prince. I think I'm a great candidate.
Awesome. Great to have you as a part of the team.
I'm ready. I can start yesterday.
And you're fired.
What do you mean I'm fired? I just texted my boss that he's an asshole and I quit. You can't fire me. You just hired me. I gotta do this. Come on, man.
Oh, hey, don't I know you?
My name is Day. I love the channel. I get all the notifications every time you upload a new video. I'm a patron. I just love the channel.
That sounds awesome. Do you want a job?
Are you kidding me? Of course I would like a job. Are you serious?
Very cool. Okay, you're fired.
Oh, wow, that's dog.
Hey, you. Who are you?
Hi, I'm Jason. I can blog about your channel.
Do you want a job? Cool, you're fired. Yeah, I think I'm at least ready to tackle Disc 1. Hey everybody, welcome to Prince's Friend. I am your host, Prince's Friend. I am rocking my Emancipation shirt today, so really excited for the obvious review for Emancipation. Now, Emancipation was released on November 19th, 1996, and it was a massive 3-album undertaking, filled with brand new music from Prince. You see, since he had his dispute with Warner Brothers, Prince declared that he was not going to give them any more new music. He was getting it ready for Emancipation. And it was all saved up, and that's why this is such a big project, 3 discs. And now that he was free, he wiped Slave off his face. He started wearing brighter colors instead of all the blacks that he had been using to mourn his death. And it was also a way to kind of show off just how happy he was with his newfound freedom. And as I previously mentioned, a lot of the members of the MPG were replaced, except for Mr. Hayes and Kirk Johnson. So Prince ended up firing Tommy Barbarella, Sonny T, Michael Bland, and he replaced them with Rhonda Smith, Kat Dyson, and a few others. But for the most part, he actually did a lot of this album by himself. Emancipation has 3 discs. Each one is 12 songs, and as if by design, each one is also exactly 60 minutes long. And Emancipation is an exploration of who Prince is, and that's actually the amazing part about this album. A lot of people have a lot of different theories as to the meanings behind the different songs and the order and the different discs. For me, disc 1 is about the past. Disc 2 was about his present, and Disc 3 was about his freedom and his future. In this video, I'm going to go through Disc 1, and I'm splitting them up, similarly to how I dug through this album. I treated each disc like it was a brand new album, and it allowed me to enjoy the album for longer, and it made it so that it wasn't a 3-hour experience, it was 3 1-hour experiences, more easily digestible. I want to note that this was the very first studio album that Prince had released that included covers on it. And it's an interesting note that Warner Brothers actually kind of forbade him from having covers on his albums. They said, no, we're marketing you as a songwriter, you have to have all original songs, you're not allowed to cover other people's stuff. So one of the things that he does immediately as soon as he can make all his own decisions, let's do some covers. And there are 2 on this disc. Now, Emancipation as a whole did reach number 11 on the charts in the US, and sold over 500,000 copies, which is pretty darn good. I bet he really felt the weight of this. He took over the entire distribution and sales and everything, and that is no small feat. The Jam of the Year tour was the one that I got to see him in 1997. It was so cool. It may need its own video for me to talk about that, though. So, let's jump into these amazing tracks from Emancipation, Disc 1.
Ooh, everybody's here.
by doors opening to a brand new experience. And this is the last time that we hear these experience doors that Prince has been using for the last few albums. And through these doors, Prince brings us this amazing track. Ooh, everybody's here. This is the jam of the year. Followed by the amazing vocals of Rosie Gaines. I know that was terrible. I don't understand how this can get any better. The inclusion of Rosie Gaines harkens back to his days before his emancipation and how it will forever kind of echo in his new works. The music is wonderful. And the lyrics show us that it's okay to be happy and have a good time, good friends. It's amazing. This is a celebration song. Everyone is invited to partake in Prince's new freedom. It's too good, almost. Right here. Now, Right Back Here in My Arms is an amazing song from Prince. The story of kind of how he wants this woman, but she's far away. For the ongoing story for this particular disc, all of the fun that he's having has caused issues with his relationship, but mostly from his side of things. She's doing a little flirting, but none of it really matches the feeling of having her in his arms, and the song itself kind of sounds a little angry about it. But it doesn't sound sad. You could actually dance to this, and it's really, really cool. Now this was one of the singles off of Emancipation, and it reached number 15 on the R&B charts and number 19 on the UK singles charts. It's a song about being lonely and about wanting to be with someone since he can't be with the woman that he's been pining for in the last song. From the video, if you watch that, we gain the additional context that it's this kind of loneliness that he feels when he's on the road. And the thought enters his mind to just take whoever just happens to be nearby. If you can't be with the one you love the one you're with, right? It's a super good song, and I think it reflects what it must have been like for Prince far too often. Come on! Now we get to the ultimate party song in my opinion, because it's the way that I throw some of my parties when I throw them here. It's not about drinking and sex and drugs and being raucous and breaking things. It's about good music, it's about friends, and it's about having a good time. I'm a fan of the line, got some honey and some peppermint tea, that's all I need to get my drink on. Because that's me. Except that I don't like peppermint. It's nice to have a party song that's not glorifying drinking. I don't drink, and I can totally identify with this song. The next thing that actually stands out to me is the ending of the song, because it takes you through what it must be like for Prince kind of going to a club. There's people touching you, there's too much smoke, there's fights over dress code. It's expensive, and then you get hit on constantly, all this stuff. This was Prince saying, it's better just to be comfortable, be around people you love, just have fun. It's cool to have a small circle of friends. Everything doesn't have to be crazy. Love this song. Put on your good dress, baby. It's courting time. Every day away is just another day your baby's lonely. Now I know what you're gonna say. There are a lot of people who complain that Emancipation was just too much music on it and it had so much filler, usually pointing to Courtin Time as an example. This is a conversation I've had more than once, but I couldn't disagree more. It takes a swinging, jazzy song setup and makes it one of the most upbeat and happy tracks of the entire album. It's about finding that woman you want finally and taking the time to court her. Also, my wife explained to me what shopping shoes were because I actually didn't know when I was listening to the song. If you also don't know, they're the shoes that you can easily take off and put back on so that you can try others on. It's a thing that I've never experienced in my own life. It does make sense though, and it's cool that Prince knows what those were. And it's kind of in a way of, I'll take care of everything, don't worry about it. Get your shopping shoes, let's go. I mean, if you don't like jazz, you don't like swing, then obviously you're not gonna like this. It's definitely not like his older hits that he's been doing for years. But if you've got an open mind for music, you should love this song. Betcha By Golly Now we get to the first cover on Emancipation, and it's probably the best one. Betcha By Golly Wow is a cover of the Stylistics' 1972 hit, which was a cover of a song written by Tom Bell and Linda Creed in 1970, which was called Keep Growing Strong. I've gone back and actually listened to the other versions as well, and I have to say, I think Prince kind of blows the others out of the water. It's a huge love song, it's dedicated to Maite, and it's a showing of Prince's ability to cover a song and put all the others to shame. Anybody who's seen him live knows this, but it's really the first showing on a studio album to just be like, look, I'm here. It's likely also one of his best falsetto performances on record, and it did pretty well in all the markets it was released in as a single. Prince didn't come to play on this song, guys. In the story of the album, the courting is over and they're finally together, everything is happy, or seemingly so.
We get up, everybody get down. Make a sound, we get up when we come in your town.
Now, We Gets Up, this is the jam. It takes some dance, some jazz, some swing, throws it all together in a weird mishmash, makes you want to move your body. Every time this song comes on, I can't help but dance, and then I usually hear little feet running towards the whatever room I'm in, and there's Evan, he's coming like, and he loves this song. The song represents Prince kind of getting egotistical in his relationship, thinking of himself and not his lover, which starts a downhill decline, snowball effect if you will, that ends with him alone again. If you take all of that out though, it's really just a damn good party song. Put it on, dance to it now, seriously.
One day I have a big white mansion at the top of the road. I'm gonna wear the latest fashion.
White Mansion is all about Prince's search for happiness. However, he's always kind of looking for it through a woman. Each verse is him finding another woman who's asking him to change so much about himself that he doesn't feel like he's himself anymore. He tries it out for a while and then it doesn't work. The White Mansion isn't literal, obviously. It's his dreams of love that he hopes that he'll one day have. And of course, once he has that, everything will be happily ever after, right? It's an interesting kind of mid-tempo song with some really good lyrics, but it's mostly laid back, with Prince not really doing anything vocally or instrumentally crazy. No weird song gymnastics here, but it's kind of a cool song. I dig it. So continuing the free fall into Prince's loneliness, he's found himself with another woman, but it's just not working. Nothing he tries seems to work, whether he's too standoffish or too into them, it just doesn't seem to work. It's a typical pop rock song, but in Prince fashion, has some horns on it, and really takes it in some interesting directions that you'd never really hear on another song. You can feel his frustration through the lyrics and his aggressive tone in the song. Love it.
'Cause I can't make you love me. You don't. I can't make your heart feel something it won't.
So now the second cover on the album is one from Bonnie Raitt, I Can't Make You Love Me. Again, I love her version, and I'm actually a fan of her music in general, but Prince's version takes the place as the #1 version of this song easily. If you've never heard it, it's a song about being in love with someone who just doesn't love you back, and you're asking them to fake it for you pretty much. Prince adds a sexual tone to this that you don't see in the original, and his switching between this falsetto and his bass tones is just so good. It's another example of the relationship dysfunction of Prince's past, but it's also just a really darn good cover. When Prince can't find love, he resorts to what he can get pretty easily, which is sex. This whole song is about him picking up women, betting them, and continuing his player ways that he doesn't actually want in his life. It's a highly danceable song though, and rapper Scrap D, who actually is on Emancipation quite a bit. He was also on Chaos and Disorder. He lays down a pretty darn good rap on this song. It flows with the melody and actually adds some flavor. Mr. Happy is sexy and it's damn good, and it's a new euphemism for sex organs, which I like when Prince comes up with those.
How we gonna put this back together? How we gonna think with the same mind? Knowing all along that life is so much better.
And then we get to the finale of the first disc. In This Bed I Scream, I'm a fan of ballads that are upbeat, and In This Bed I Scream is that. It's Prince in his falsetto finest, with a funky beat and compelling lyrics that reach out to those he's wronged in the past and hopes for reconciliation. In the liner notes of the album, this song was dedicated to Wendy and Lisa, as well as Susanna Melvoin, which I hope helped their relationships at that point of their friendship. It's really the perfect song to end disc 1, which again is about his past. It's about reflection and wanting to do different than what you've done already. It's an acknowledgement of mistakes and a willingness to change. Wonderful song, amazing disc ender, and this is just the first disc. Disc 1 of Emancipation is 1 hour of Prince telling us what it was like being him. A lot of people think that it's probably all just fun and awesome and just woohoo! But there are some real emotions in there as well. A lot of loneliness, a lot of unrequited love, a lot of not knowing who to trust with your emotions. The disc is put together amazingly. There's some big songs, some wonderful ballads, there's some really good dance tracks on here, and the order of them tell the story compellingly. It's so well put together. I feel like had we just gotten this disc in 1996, that could have been just it. But we got 2 more discs, guys. With that in mind, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Both are at PrincessFriendYT. Also, you can support the channel directly for as little as $2 a month on patreon.com/princessfriend. That allows us to expand the channel and do so many things, and every little bit helps. So thank you so much to the existing patrons. I also want to thank Lolly, Di, and Jason for allowing me to fire them at the beginning of the video. And as always, may you live to see the dawn. We have 2 more discs, guys. I can't wait to share them with you.
Me either.